Hey, everybody out there. It is time for Sis and Big Pops Culture. That's right. We are recording now episode 99.
Woo!
99 Sis Loved Baloo episodes of Sis and Big Pops. Just kidding.
What movie? Before you get started, what movie?
I don't know.
What childhood staple of a movie is 99 red balloons?
It would probably be a Mary-Kate and Ashley movie.
Yes. Keep going. It's the best
New York
Mary-Kate.
one.
No,
It's
not
the
the New
one
York
where
one.
it's the one where they have to go to they're like in the Bahamas or something.
No, not the Bahamas.
Okay, well then is it the one where they're on a trip to find their grandma?
It's very good.
Which one?
It's when they're in it's Our Lips Are Sealed. It's when they go to Australia.
Oh, do they
Because
sing
they
the song Our Lips Are Sealed on there too?
No.
That doesn't make sense, but they do 99 Loof Balloons?
Do. It's when they're at Luna, the amusement park.
Oh, I remember that. Okay, skee ball for everyone. Anyway,
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I literally played that song when I was there and danced to it in the rain.
I remember that. And you have a click Polaroids of it. Anyway, folks, this is what we do here. It is our podcast. We've been doing this for 99.5 times, and we're just keeping it going. I am Big Pops Todd Turner, also known as Mosaic Fan Art. And if you didn't know by now, my lovely cohort in crime is...
Hi, sweet friends. My name is Hannah Jo, a.k.a. Sis. And together, we are an adult daughter and father duo. We dive into all things geek, nerd, and fandom. Every episode, every single one, is family friendly.
Family friendly. I'd say we were PG at the max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy.
Heck, you can't even see a Disney film. It's all PG-13 now, so.
Hit on the nose there, my dear old daddy.
Bang. Tell everybody what we've been doing here for the last...
Sweet.
How many years?
We started this 2020.
4? Quattro?
2020, 21, 21,
años.
22, 22, 23, 23, 24. 4.
All right. Tell everybody what we've been doing here.
Hi, friends. We are going to start off chatting about some nerd news to us, stuff that we think is fun, stuff we think the other person thinks would be fun. We're going to talk about what we've been binging. Dad is going to share his pull list with us. And then we are going to review the Image comic Murder Falcon.
Ooh,
which y'all was so good.
I know. I can't wait.
So
I'm glad I picked that one. Yes. Anyway.
So good.
We're going to dive right into nerd news. This is the part where we are investigative journalists.
There's nothing about me that is an investigative journal.
It's actually just finding cool stories on the interwebs.
100%. I chat about things that I think is cool and I tell you about it.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
We don't have any insider scoops. Anyway, Hannah.
Nope. Yes.
Nerd news to us. That's right. Take it away. What do you have in the news desk at Memphis, Tennessee?
Okay. Godzilla Minus One is coming back to theaters for Godzilla Day.
They're milking this, honey, for everything they've got.
It was an excellent movie. You didn't see it in the theaters?
I did not, but you're right. I loved it. It was a good movie.
I mean, go see it in the theaters. I mean, it was in the theaters for a minute, but you had to go. It wasn't at every theater.
It was one of those avant-garde theaters. Yes, right. But anywho.
It's going to be there again November 1st. It's going to be in black and white and it's going to be in color. And it comes with 13 extra minutes of behind the scenes footage.
So I wonder if the behind the scene footage is going to be just literally what you would think of it behind the scenes, like showing you how they do special effects or showing you what this is, or if it's going to be extra footage.
It says
BTS, behind the scenes.
Will include additional 13 minutes of exclusive behind the scenes material.
All right.
So it makes me think it's like special effects.
I agree.
On a DVD.
Yeah, sounds like that way. Like the little extra thing. I didn't go see the original in the theater. It was really good. It definitely could have been seen in the theater, but
Yeah, we reviewed Godzilla One.
After I watched it.
After Dad watched it.
I'm shaking everything.
Honestly, really enjoyed that movie. Okay. Would recommend it.
Absolutely.
And if you didn't see it and were thinking that, ooh, this might be a movie I'd like to see on the big screen, just want to let you know. You got your chance next week, ladies and gentlemen.
And you get extra 13 minutes. Okay.
We love extra.
Disney is working on a live action Prince Charming movie.
I saw that. Is it live action or animated?
Live action.
I don't know how I feel about that.
And how is it going to be? Is it going to be Prince Charming? Is it going to be Prince Philip? Is it going to be, you know what I mean? Is it going to be all the Disney princes?
Here's the thing. They've already done a live action Prince Charming and Enchanted. I've been dreaming of a true love's kiss.
It was so good. That movie was so good.
Marsden. Is that not his last name?
No, that was Chris Pine.
No.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That wasn't Chris Pine. It was James Marsden.
It was James
100%.
Marsden.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
It was Chris Pine.
I never saw the second one.
I never saw the second one either. Heard it was okay.
I know, but you would think that would be something I would want to see because I love the first one so much.
Well, all of your children are adults that live not there anymore.
I get that. Yeah. I just didn't know how you would feel about that. Live action movie?
I feel interested.
Okay.
I really liked how they did the live action Cinderella was wonderful.
Yeah, I liked it.
The live action Beauty and the Beast was
It was all right. I liked the actor who played the Beast. I didn't like the actress that played Belle.
Emma Watson.
And
they did her dress dirty.
Anywho.
I have a lot of opinions because Beauty and the Beast is my favorite princess.
Gotcha. And apparently they're getting so much hate for Snow White. So who knows what's going to happen with...
Yeah, they might just snip. Because the last couple live actions have not been...
Cows.
Did you see what Disney has added to the Disney parks?
No, what?
This is just going to be a hate on Disney for a second moment. They have added a lightning lane pass.
Oh, okay. I saw but I didn't know what this is. Explain this to me. So now not only is there a fast pass, there's a faster passer. So
you have to pay for Disney Genie, which allows you to pass which allows you a fast pass. You have to pay for fast passes now. You don't get automatically 2.
Okay.
Or whatever. You have to pay for them. And you only get a certain grouping of fast passes. So if you have a thing that's in lane, thrill rides are lane A, and children rides are like Dumbo going up and down is lane B. So you can't pick Thunder Mountain Railroad and Space Mountain.
Okay. I hope you people listening to this understand because I'm lost.
You can't pick both. What they have now done is that you can add for $400 a ticket.
A day?
A day. $400 a day per ticket. You can add a lightning lane pass that will make it so that you can go into any fast pass lane at any time at any ride in the park.
Okay.
$400 a ticket.
People will pay it.
On top of paying for your ticket. Yeah. And they've raised prices. Tickets are over $200 now to get in the Disney parks.
I know your mom wants to go in January or February, just me and her for a weekend.
$200 for a pass?
We could go to Cancun for a week.
And plus an extra $400. Are you kidding?
That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know, Disney. I mean, they're not doing it for the regular folks.
It's such a money grab.
This is for the people with monies.
Which is such a bummer because there were...
people in the cheap seats. Sorry, fellas.
Well, we loved Fantasmic. Do you remember Fantasmic?
I have no idea what that is.
Okay, Fantasmic is the water... fireworks show that happens at Hollywood Studios where you like go back to a lagoon and then like splash water.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, you have.
No, I didn't go.
You didn't
It might
go?
have been when you were just the girls. Could have been just the girls.
Oh, I'm obsessed with Fantasmic. It probably was because we definitely went to it on the girls' trip. And then I thought that you were there for the Orlando IYC trip. Were you not? Was that just
Nope,
mom?
I was not. Mm-mm.
Okay. So we went, oh yeah, because it was mom and Tina. I remember now.
Okay.
So I love that ride. It's not even a ride, it's a show. But it's such now that if you don't have a Genie Pass for the show and you stand in line to watch the show, you might not get a seat because they have like 2/3 of the
I
section.
just wouldn't go. I mean, it just makes me want to not go to Disney.
Yeah, that's how Trevin is.
So because of that,
I just love it so much.
I get it. Okay. Well,
It breaks my heart because $400, that's $800 a day.
for two people, that's not including your ticket.
That's for one. No, it's $600 for one person.
Yeah. So two people, it's $1,200.
$1,200 for a family. A family of 5 can't afford that.
No. Well, some of them can. That's what I'm saying. They're doing this for the folks with the monies because somebody will pay it. It won't be me.
Makes me sad.
I know. I'm sorry.
I mean, you don't have to be sorry. It's just it feels like a money grab. It feels like hey, we don't know how to fix the problem of our lines being too long and having difficulty because we're allowing all these people into the parks.
Cap the amount of people that come into the park.
Exactly, because we are letting too many people in the parks, and instead of like fixing a problem that we have, we're just going to charge you more money.
Okay. Is there? I don't know. I mean, I guess I didn't know if there was a limit to how many people could be in a park.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a limit,
because you would think. I think most people that go to Disney, they've already got their stuff purchased before they go. They just don't show up and go, "Hey, I want a ticket," and go in.
I mean, sometimes.
Yeah, so then that would suck if you came all the way from Kentucky and get down there and go, "Hey, I want to get a ticket." And they're like, "I'm sorry, we're capped out for the night."
Well, I mean, you would think that they should, because if you have to cap a restaurant for how many
but that's
people,
inside, right?
I know, but they have like a certain amount of space in the place, right? So they can't allow like.
Well, what are you going to do? It's like you're going to cap Times Square for the ball drop. There you go.
I know, but that's a like an outdoor like public space, and not no, because you don't have to pay to stand out at Times Square. You have to pay to get in.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Anyway, I don't know how that works.
I don't either. I feel like there should be if there isn't.
I got you. We're trying to solve all this stuff with that on episode 99. Totally cool.
Sorry. I just made me angry.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I didn't know what it was. The Hunt for Gollum.
I saw about that. How do you feel?
It's going to be directed by Andy Serkis, and it takes place between Bilbo's birthday party and the Mines of Moria. How are you going to captivate me in a movie about Gollum? I'm not interested in it at all, honestly. It seems crazy. What do you think about that?
I didn't know that was the premise. That's really silly.
Well, I don't know what it is. I don't know what the promise is.
Who was hunting him? No one was hunting him during that time.
We'll get to this when I'm binging. Just remind me.
Okay.
Gollum. Binging. Anywho.
Did you see, this was just really tender, and I watched this video. It popped up on my Instagram. How Sesame Street does the
Okay, I did not see this, but go ahead. Tell me about this.
It's so tender. Where Andrew Garfield. Okay, so Sesame Street does this thing where people, famous people chat with Sesame Street characters. Typically it's Elmo. And so they released a video of Andrew Garfield having a conversation with Elmo about grief.
Gotcha.
And Elmo is supposed to be 3 or 4 years old.
Right.
I think they aged him up a year because Abby Cadabby is supposed to be a year below him. Okay. And so they aged him just a little bit. Mm-hmm. And Andrew Garfield talks about, how
grief, apparently,
he talks about the grief of losing his mother. and about how
wow.
his mother is no longer living, and that grief is actually like a treasure because it shows him how much his mother meant to him and
That's
how
a good
he
way of
loved
looking at that.
her.
I'm
And
going to start tearing up.
it was man, it was honestly very emotional. It was very tender. I really like Andrew Garfield.
I don't have anything against him. I mean,
well, just watching, he just had a movie that came out with Florence Pugh, and so he's been doing a lot of press
pew,
here
pew,
recently.
pew, 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 pew. Sorry.
And I really like
Way to kill it. Way to kill a moment with a Star Wars.
No, it was
thing.
hysterical. She literally said that. She was like, "How do you say your last name?" And she went, "Pew pew pew pew." So I thought that you were like quoting her.
No,
you were not.
I was just
you
no, I
were
wasn't.
being silly. But
so anyway, so you got to listen to him talk with other
and
people.
it was honestly very beautiful. If you have a child who's having a hard time understanding what grief is,
I
if
should let
you're
Mom
having
watch
a
it.
hard
I don't know if
time,
she's seen it yet.
yeah, explaining grief to a child, that would be.
Okay.
Or if you as a grown up are having some hard times, kind of wrapping your
We're
mind around
tackling
grief.
serious stuff here today, guys.
I would recommend it. It was beautiful.
Okay. Good deal. I can't wait to watch it. Yeah. P.S. Hopefully he'll be in another Spider-Man movie.
He was talking about that. I saw that.
I did. I'm for it. Karate Kid Legends.
Okay.
Didn't know this movie was coming out. Starring Ralph Macchio, who is the original Karate Kid.
Okay, yeah.
Jackie Chan.
No.
Remember?
Will Smith's son, Jaden Smith.
Remember that one? Jaden Smith is not in it. But it is them together.
That's so fun.
And they have a new protege.
Trevor,
I'm interested in this. Do you remember we saw that movie in Florida? The Jackie Chan movie.
The Jackie Chan Karate Kid. It
was 2010.
I remember watching the Karate Kid with the girl.
Oh, that's it's the girl from The Core, the movie The Core, and $1 Million Baby.
It was a great movie. I really liked.
And Boys Don't Cry.
I don't know what her name is.
Yes, you do.
No,
she's super famous.
I don't know.
Look it up right now. Google away.
Karate Kid.
Hilary Swank.
Kid girl.
Hilary Swank. That's who it is. You don't have to look it up.
Oh yeah, she's very famous.
Yes, and $1 Million Baby. Yeah. So how do we not remember her? But that's who the Karate Kid.
I remember watching the girl Karate Kid, and she was like on a pole at the beach.
They're all on a pole at the beach. Anyway, I'm interested in this. And so the big deal is this past week is the New York Comic Con. So a lot of stuff has been spewed out there
and
in pop culture. And a lot of it was comics. So I just was like, I'm not just going to mention all these comics, but there's a lot of cool comic book stuff coming up. You got any more? I got one more thing.
I have a couple more things.
Okay, good.
For those of you who have been waiting with bated breath, Hallmark has
oh my gosh
unveiled a lineup of 47 new movies that are going to be released on its countdown for Christmas.
Do you know what I saw today?
What?
A Christmas ad.
Well,
an Old Navy Christmas ad was on the TV 3 times today.
The festivities kick off on October 18th. So the festivities on the Hallmark Channel have already started.
They've already started.
Hallmark, there are 47 new movies.
Oh my gosh. I have to tell your mom that. Good. Okay. They put out a teaser or a scene from the upcoming Star Trek Brave New World season 3.
I saw a lot of Star Trek news, but I knew that you loved it so much. So I didn't look at it. I figured you'd tell me.
I can't wait to see it. You've got to watch Star Trek The Brave New World.
I will, but how?
Oh yeah, you don't got Paramount.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, you do. Brock. Don't say that. Did you know that the actress who is being, pardon me, the actress that was selected or / employed, what word am I looking for? I've lost a word. Cast. I found it. The actor that was cast,
employed and selected.
I mean, all of those are accurate.
As Supergirl, what? Give it to me.
Supergirl is Millie Alcock.
I did know that.
Okay.
Isn't she from like one of the Thrones shows or something?
From House of the Dragon, the spinoff show.
Okay.
And I need you to know, because I saw that and I was like, oh, that's cute. Here's what I think.
Okay.
I don't think that Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, I don't think Supergirl is the main character.
I
I think Supergirl is the side character in that.
Supergirl is sort of the side character in the comic book.
That's what I'm saying.
The young girl.
The young girl is, and so I was like, oh, cool, she's Supergirl. I guess that matters. Who are you? But the
That's a good question. Who is the young girl?
The true tone of this movie
is told through
going to be set by who they pick.
Though?
I think so. It was all of it was, if they do it right, all of it should be from her perspective, from her point of view.
Right. Yes, because that's the movie is her point of view. Right.
So it should be, you know what I mean? Like it shouldn't be like
right. But people who are excited about this, they never read the comic.
Yeah.
They just know we got a Supergirl movie coming out. That's great. But they don't realize they don't know the story.
They don't, and the story, and they tackle some heavy things in those books.
Yeah, I don't know how much they'll be able to do. Honestly, if it's a movie, they can barely do. I think it is a movie. So
I hope that the scene where Supergirl teaches our main girly how to wash her hands.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah, because she's not on a planet of rocks anymore.
But I think that really sets the tone for what their relationship is like and Supergirl's like heart in the comic. I'm gonna be so disappointed.
Our favorite scenes and so much stuff is left out. So it's just the way it is.
Yeah, my favorite scene in Lord of the Rings isn't even
in the theatrical release. 100% should have been. We've talked about this before.
Okay. What
else you got?
The last piece of news was just something that I thought was cute, was Tom Holland talking about how much RDJ means to him.
Oh, and he is going to be in the Doomsday movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And how when Holland was cast as Spider-Man, that he did like an 8-page of dialogue scene with Downey, which is a lot of dialogue. Typically an audition is 2 pages. And when they started doing the scene, it had been cut. Like the scene he auditioned with had been cut. And it was like one of Holland's like first roles. But Downey, here direct quote from Holland: "We started doing the scene and Downey piped up and said, 'Where'd all the kids' lines gone?' And the Russos sort of said, 'Well, look, this is already a 140-page script. We can't spend too much time on this.' And Downey was the one that was like, 'No. You're going to want to spend some time on this. Let's shoot the whole thing from the audition. You can always cut it, but you want him to have it.' And then they ended up using the scene.
What scene was it?
It was,
do we know?
I'm not 100% sure what the scene is. I think it was the scene where like Tony introduces himself to Spider-Man in Avengers and like Captain America Civil War, where he meets like Aunt May and him at the house, and they like have all this dialogue back and forth. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think that was the scene, and that scene is fun.
Yeah. Here's the deal. All their scenes together are fun, and it makes the father figure thing more dramatic when he gets vanished.
It would not have had the depth that it had.
Right. Exactly. I agree.
If they had not like established.
Yeah.
Like I think
that type of relationship.
Yeah. From the very beginning. So I just thought that was really sweet. Like RDJ. Yeah. And that's what RDJ has that. He has that.
Yeah. I know. Good for him.
Yeah. I thought that was sweet. Okay. I'm done.
All right. So now what are you binging, Hannah?
Honestly, not a lot.
Okay, that's fine.
Honestly, not a lot. I have been listening to graphic audio, dragon books, and vampire books. Classic.
Wait, somebody's next movie is going to be a big... Christopher Nolan is doing a vampire movie.
Is Tom Holland in that one?
He's supposed to be in a new movie, like one of the next movies that he's doing. So I read that. I read that Christopher Nolan's next movie is going to be a big vampire thing. And then I read that Tom Holland's supposed to be in Christopher Nolan's next movie. And I was like, what? Is that going to be? I don't know. Anywho, keep going.
So I've been listening to that. We traveled this past weekend. We went to Minnesota for a wedding. And so I did a lot of walking and observed some football games on televisions when we were in restaurants.
That's fine. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. And the one thing that I'm excited about.
All right.
Trevin, you all know that I like to watch my dear sweet husband play video games. I think that it's fun. I enjoy it. I also enjoy being able to craft while I don't know. It's just fun. I enjoy it. There's a video game that he had been wanting to play because he thought that I would think it's cute, called the Plucky Squire.
The Plucky Squire.
The Plucky Squire. And he got some gift cards for his birthday. And so he bought the Plucky Squire and has been
Explain what the Plucky Squire is.
It is so cute so far. It is this
And this is for what? This is for the Nintendo? Switch.
This is for Switch. The Plucky Squire is a game for Switch. It was released, when was it? In 2024. So it's a pretty new game. It was released this year. And it is a 2D, 3D world.
I thought you were going to say a 2D, like, burp.
No, it's a 2D. It starts out being a 2D game where you play as Jot, who is the Plucky Squire. And he like saves his realm from this like evil wizard. And so he's like running around doing all of these things. You meet all of his friends. He has a friend that is also a wizard. He has a friend who's like an orc, and they like run around with him. So it's very easily set up for a multiplayer game. So you can play as one of those people. We haven't gotten to the bit of it yet, but something that happens is that the evil wizard like ruins his like world, and then he starts being able to interact with the like 3D world. So Jot's world is a 2D world, and you're like flipping through pages of a book.
All right.
And then the wizard, something happens with the wizard, and then he can start like jumping off the page and like doing all these things. And some of them, like the games are really fun. You have like, there's like puzzles and things like that. There's some combat. But it's really stinking cute. I'm trying to.
Okay, cool.
What's it rated? How do
Probably
I know?
E for everyone.
Something is rated.
You go Google. What's it rated?
Google. What's that rated? Jump between 2D. It's rated E for everyone, 10 plus.
I told you.
Plucky Squire follows the magical adventures of Jot and his friends, storybook characters who discover a three-dimensional world outside the pages of their book. When Malevolent Humpgrump realizes he is the villain of the book, destined to lose his...
That sounds terrible.
When Humpgrump realizes he's the villain of the book, destined to lose his battle against the forces of good for all eternity, he kicks the heroic Jot out of its pages and changes the story forever.
Okay, gotcha.
Jot must face challenges unlike anything he's ever seen if he is to save his friends from Humpgrump's dark forces and restore the book's happy ending.
Humpgrump. Okay, good deal, Humpy Grumpy.
It's so cute.
All right, well, good deal.
It's so fun. 10 out of 10. Have enjoyed watching it.
Good deal. I have given up on Agatha all along.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
The last episode,
it was getting pretty spooky.
It was just weird and felt, I'm not going to yuck someone else's yum, but as a believer, I felt it was weird.
Yeah. I watched like a bunch of clips, like a fan edit of Aubrey Plaza's character, and it got spooky in a way that I didn't like.
Well, I'm okay with spooky, but this was just stuff that I was like, oh, I'm not for this. So I shut off into the last episode. But anyway, the penguin.
You're loving it?
Is amazing. Now, it is violent. Yeah, it's violent. Which is weird. A believer, I can do this, but I can't do the other.
I mean,
I don't know. It just
your filter is allowed to be whatever it needs to be to keep you safe.
There you go. And Colin Farrell's just flat out amazing. Amazing. So yes, I think anyone could watch that. That is, of course, a grown adult. They don't have to know anything about Batman. Has no, I mean, Batman's it's doesn't even need to be in the Batman universe, right?
I've heard that it's one of the best
It just
TV shows
apparently is
out right now.
breaking records left and right. It's really cool how they give Penguin the waddle. He has a club foot and wears a brace. It's like deformed. He has a deformed foot. And actually, Colin Farrell says that when he tries to do this, when he's in a scene by himself, he waddles more. But when he's with other people, he tries to hide it. So he tries not to do it as much. The prosthetics were amazing. It was interesting listening to I listened to an interview about how he said he never performed under so much of someone's art before. Like,
okay, that's a beautiful way to think about it.
I know. He's like, this is, 3 hours in the chair every day, and how they get him ready and everything.
I've never performed under so much people's art before.
Under so much of someone's art before. Yeah, it was really cool because like it just shows props for the people doing that. But anywho, I am really loving that. I have finished The Hobbit on audio.
Did you start Rob Inglis?
I did. So I started The Fellowship. I'm about a third of the way through. I am remembering. I'd forgotten so much about the Lord of the Rings books. So much. So Bilbo was 111. Bilbo and Frodo had the same birthday.
Oh, so it was Frodo's birthday
33, 144, a gross, which is an important number. That was what that birthday party was. So it was Frodo's 33rd birthday, which is basically in the Hobbits. This is when you come of age at 33. So that was his coming of age party.
He was a young man.
And Bilbo's 111th. Yeah. So it's been really, really good. I'm really loving going back over it. I love the character Tom Bombadil, which is not in the movies. And there's no way.
Love Tom Bombadil.
There's no way they could have put him in there. No way.
Is he supposed to be Jesus?
I know. I don't know what he's supposed to be, but oh, Bombadil, Dumbadil, anyway, yeah. And I love the fact that didn't know this, but the hobbits all sing a song as they're leaving with Frodo, and they make it to the tune of the dwarf song when they left Bilbo's. Whoa. But that's how they sang it in the
That's so
movie.
sweet.
Yeah. So anyway, it's really good. And pretty much that's it.
You were going to tell me about Lord of the Rings. Were you going to say something about the Rings of Power?
Gollum.
And Gollum.
What are we going to talk about Gollum?
I was saying.
I mean, because they talk about, Gandalf briefly mentions the story of Gollum and how it happened and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I just don't know. I just can't imagine.
Yeah, what else is there?
What are they going to do? Except the fact that you'd have Ian McKellen in it. Because he is supposed to be in that movie and another movie.
Well, I think Ian McKellen is chef's kiss wonderful.
Viggo Mortensen is now older than Ian
McKellen was when he started
filming the movies. So
isn't that wild?
Yeah, that is crazy. I do believe. Okay, write this down.
Okay.
The world, write it down.
I'm ready. Pen poised.
So in the show, The Rings of Power, right?
Yeah.
There's a character who is with the Gandalf character, which literally they called him the Grand Elf because they didn't know. Oh, Grand Elf. Yeah, how dumb is that? Anywho.
Well, they can't call him Gandalf.
I think they can. You don't think they can? Oh, well, they're calling they can call him Elrond, and I think they can call him Gandalf.
I don't think they can call him Gandalf.
Anywho.
I remember reading that when it first came out, that they could not call him Gandalf.
He's got two halflings with him. And one of them, so they're not necessarily called hobbits, but they're halflings. I think one of them's called Dory, maybe. I can't remember what the girl's name is.
Nori?
No,
Keely?
I know, which can't be right. So that's not it. I can't remember what the girl's name is. Write it down. Gollum's grandma. I'm saying this right now. She ends up being the grandmother to Gollum. All right?
Okay.
I'm making that prediction.
Written.
All right. Anywho, that's it. That's all I got.
Pull list. Y'all.
Yeah.
Dad is going to share his pull list with us. A pull list, if you don't know. Friend, I'm so glad you asked. Here, let me tell you all about it. A pull list, Dad's making a face. A pull list is the list of comics that you give the proprietor of your local comic book shop, and they pull from their inventory what you're collecting.
They're pulling way too many for me. I've got to cut it back.
Oh, is that what that face was about? You're collecting too many?
That's what
that face went, oopsie poopsie. Yeah. Dad is going to share with us 5 books. 5 books. He's going to share with us a Marvel book, a DC book, a independent book, a new #1. That way you can start collecting if you want to, as well as his most favoriteest book of the entire week.
Okay.
A book of the week, if you will.
The last 3 books are all DC.
Okay,
so we're going to start with my independent book.
Okay, which is?
Department of Truth, issue 26.
That's Image.
That is Image. Mm-hmm. And I love Department of Truth anyway. We've talked about this book. I've talked about it many times.
26.
This is Marilyn Monroe. It's like Marilyn Monroe writes this letter to Frank Capra, who
her husband.
What?
No, Joe. John?
I don't know who she married. Anywho, this Frank Capra was the guy he was a director of many movies and apparently was the one working for the Department of Truth to mold the way Americans think about stuff, basically, right? So the premise of the Department of Truth is once you get so many people believing something happening,
it happens.
It becomes truth. So she writes a letter because she's remembering things. She's has these thoughts of things she did, but doesn't remember doing them.
Oh, they're using her, sweet girl.
Like the Happy Birthday, Mr. President. She goes, but then I get these thoughts that like we had an affair and that we did this, but I don't remember ever doing that. So it's like the American public has thought about maybe she's done this
so many times that it becomes real life.
It becomes real life. And so the Department of Truth, somebody from the Department of Truth goes to her, and that's where it ends there with her. And she's like, I don't know what's real anymore. And she has also seen the lady with the X'd out eyeballs. So yeah, this book's really good.
Spooky.
When's this going to be a TV show?
It was going to be a TV show like 2 years ago.
No, whatever.
And then they like went on hiatus right when it was getting good. And then
COVID or whatever.
It didn't happen. No, we started this in the middle of COVID.
All right. My Marvel book is Ultimate Spider-Man issue 10. And the cover is a throwback cover to to the cover where the Green Goblin kills Gwen Stacy.
No.
But it's got J. Jonah Jameson being in the clutches of the Green Goblin. And so this book is really cool. Uncle Ben's alive, J. Jonah Jameson's alive, they're best friends. And they both have created their own online newspaper, and they have believed that they have been tracking the way I hear myself.
Sorry. My bad.
So they've been tracking this. They're trying to follow this money trail with the Kingpin. And how is he involved with Stark Tech? How is he involved with Oscorp and all of this kind of stuff? And they're like, so they get visited by the Green Goblin, basically. And he's like, basically threatens them. And he's like, they're not afraid of him or anything like that. And they're like, well, you just be careful, because he goes, well, our reporter's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. So at the end of the issue, they publish the story about the Kingpin and how he's been laundering money and how it does all this, and the reporter's name is Ben Reilly, which you have no idea who that is, do you?
I'm checking. No, I don't know who that is at all.
Ben Reilly is Spider-Man clone that was created back in Amazing Spider-Man. There was this huge thing about Peter Parker wasn't the real Peter Parker. He was Ben Riley, and this other person was a clone, and they've been doing so. There's a spider clone. It was a huge saga that drove people crazy, but they have now introduced
Spider clone.
this Ben Riley. Thought that was really cool. Now Ben Riley in the regular pages of Spider-Man is called Chasm, I think. He's a villain, bad guy.
Chasm.
I think it's Chasm's his name.
Cool.
All right. So my DC book is Nightwing issue. What issue is it? 118. This is the final issue that my creative team I love is doing, Tom Taylor. This is their farewell piece, and it
is it
closes
sweetie?
up. It is sweet, yeah.
We love it being sweetie.
How like we get the Bat family, we get Tim Drake and Damian working together, and we get
cuties.
Nightwing, of course, is going against this character called the Heartless, and their fight to the end, and of course Nightwing is victorious, although Haley the dog gets shot. Doesn't die, gets shot.
Good.
And at the end of the book, it's so sweet. At the end, he goes to visit the graves of his mom and dad. And let's see, hold on. What's he say? He says something about this is Babs. I hope to marry her one day. Oh, yeah, he whispers it. He says, I can't do it because my page is moving back and forth.
We'll set it down.
Mom, Dad, that's Babs. I hope to get to marry her one day. So that's Batgirl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
there's
the final page is it's Starry Night and Nightwing, and it's Gotham, but it's the Starry Night, the Van Gogh Starry Night, and they're on like a crane in the middle of overlooking the city with she's got they've got their heads leaned against each other, and the dog is sitting with them, and that's the final page, and it's like their final farewell. So it's very well done.
That's really sweet.
I will probably drop this book now.
Okay, fair. Because the creative team has done that you like.
Right, but they're going to take on Detective Comics, so I might have to pick up Detective Comics.
Seeing this image of them two on Instagram and TikTok. So this must just be a fan edit. Like a fan drawing. It looks like something that could be in a comic book.
It may or may not be. They did a bathing suit or a summer issue. It could have been. Who knows? I don't know what it's from.
I don't either.
It could be a fan. Yeah.
I don't know. That was something that I'd seen a couple different times before, and I was like, "Oh, I think that's Nightwing and Barbara Gordon." Was
it?
Yeah, it was.
All right, good deal. Awesome. Yeah, that's why you guys should look at this on YouTube or on Facebook while we do it live.
It's not Damien. His name's not Damien.
Dick Grayson.
It's Dick Grayson and Barbara Gordon. And she's like stepping up on his shoulders,
like she's getting ready to jump off him.
Like she's getting ready to jump. Yeah, and they're both in a pool.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay, my new number one.
Yes, DC.
Is Batman and Robin Year One.
Okay.
This is by Mark Waid, who does a lot of books I love. He's like an old school, fun vibe. Like
we love a fun vibe.
Those and it's drawn by Mark Samney, the guy who did Firepower from Image. Okay. And he might have done Jonna and the Unstoppable Monsters.
Okay, you really liked that one.
I can't remember if he drew that or not. Anyway, this is his first year with Robin.
Fun.
And how they work together. It starts out with like Robin is just so young and brash, and like he meets like the Commissioner Gordon shines the bat signal, and they both show up, and Robin has like some quippy things, and Gordon's like, "You brought a kid?" And he goes, when has when has this city been easy, justice been good for children here, or something like that nature. It's really silly, but it's very good. It's great drawn. It feels like an old school comic book, but again, it's year one, right? So it has to be.
Yeah.
So
that's
I
sweet.
would say,
are you going to get year 2?
Yeah, I'll get it. No, year 1, issue 1. So it's like it'll be like 5 or 6 issues all about their first year. I don't know how many issues it'll be, but it'll probably be a mini series.
Fun.
Okay, and my book of the week.
Book of the week is the book of the week.
Is Wonder Woman issue 14.
Okay.
So we've gone back now. Finally, there's all this stupid stuff with the absolute power thing is over. We're now back to the original story. And this keeps going back and forth between day 52, I believe. That's a big thing in DC, the 52.
I don't know what that means.
It's their number, the new 52. 52 universes, 52 weeks, 52 years, 52 months, 52 days. Okay. That's what they do. And one of their reboots was called The New 52.
Okay.
So this takes place 50 days after starts, and it ends 52 days, I believe, after. So what happens, this story starts with Wonder Woman stripping down to just like her bare, just like a shorts and a shirt, and diving into the ocean. And she's diving to the bottom of the ocean. And then it tells a story about this evil guy that's trying to take over the world and all that kind of garb. Well, what happens is I'm going to spoil it. He shoots and kills Steve Trevor.
No. She kills him.
Not, she doesn't. The bad guy does.
No, but she then kills the bad guy.
No, she doesn't.
Okay.
But it's all about how that happened and how it got set up and where, what has happened since then. And so he gets killed on day 12. Yeah. He's killed on day 12. And then you get to figure out how they go back and forth. Like on day 3, how are we going to get rid of her? What are we going to do? And then it's like day 19, which is the funeral for Steve Trevor. And then it goes back, then it goes forward day 27. And she breaks into, I think, his family's house and steals the flag that they gave their family. And she's crying.
She said, no, this is mine.
And she's crying on it on day 29. And it goes back and forth about things that they had. And so she ends up at the end, she comes back up from the water with a thing of clay. Do you know how Wonder Woman was created?
She was created by her mom.
Doing what?
No, Zeus. Mom, Zeus, making her out of clay, making a baby out of clay.
She takes her hair, and she had a lock of Steve Trevor's hair, combined them together. She makes a
baby.
And that's how her daughter is born.
Aww.
Remember how we've talked about Trinity being in the comic book? And it shows her at the end.
Making her little baby out of clay.
Yeah. So it's Steve Trevor.
Woo!
And she's called Elizabeth Marston Prince. Isn't Marston the one who created Wonder Woman?
Maybe. Who created Wonder Woman? Yeah. William Moulton Marston.
Yep. So
that's
there you go.
Cute.
Yep. And that's how she made the baby. So now she's got a baby. So anyway.
That's cute, but also, oh no.
I know. But she's already been in the comics. We've just read stories about her in the future.
So this is just her origin story, if you will.
It is an 100% origin story. There you go. All right.
That's cute.
Hannah and I read a comic called Murder Falcon.
Murder Falcon.
The name, it does not You hear the name. I'm going to read a book called Murder Falcon.
I literally was thinking that. I was like, okay, Dad, I guess I'm reading Murder Falcon.
Okay, yeah, Hannah. So I told Hannah, let's read this book. We were tossing between that and The Century, and I was like, let's read Murder Falcon because I wanted to read it again. Hannah, tell everybody what this book is about. First of all, it's an image book. It's an older book. It's one of the first books
2018.
that made Daniel Warren Johnson, who I just love.
Mm-hmm.
His stuff is amazing.
I didn't know that he did Wonder Woman Dead Earth.
Yeah, 100%. And
I didn't know.
Do a Power Bomb.
Do a Power Bomb is excellent.
Mm-hmm. He's also been doing the Transformers. But yeah, so he also did the one I really loved with Beta Ray Bill from Thor when he has to hit that miniseries. He did that one too. Tell Hannah, tell everybody what this book is.
Murder Falcon follows our hero Jake, who is down and about on his luck. He is the lead guitarist in a metal band, but he has not been playing with his band. We don't know why. And then he gets selected by Murder Falcon
which is a humanoid falcon with a metal
arm to fight chaos demons or chaos like monsters
that are creeping in through a crack in the universe.
As the chaos being.
Yeah, I can't remember what
is
it's called.
Trying to
something
seep
chaos
his way. Yeah, as trying to seep his way into our world, by feeding on the negative emotions of the human race.
There you go. Yeah.
And Murder Falcon is like, I've chosen you, Jake. And he's like, what? And he goes, you have to shred. And he's like,
yeah. So
what?
the more he plays, the harder he plays his guitar, the more powerful
Murder Falcon
is. And yeah.
And the book just gets more chaotic from there.
I don't know if I would call it chaotic.
Way.
Yeah.
It's just like, I was literally, the entire time I was like, what? What?
Yes.
What? It was like twist in one way and then it was twist in the other way. And it was, so Murder Falcon is like, you have to get your band back together, Jake.
Because we need more power.
We need more power.
And metal is what fuels, music is what gives us power to defeat the chaos.
And metal, they have learned, is an excellent type of music that feeds these fight beings from the heavy.
It's basic. Yes, the heavy is where Murder Falcon is from.
Yes.
And so it's basically like the first person he gets back is his bass guitarist.
Mm-hmm.
And his bass guitarist is like, I'm all for it.
This is sick. Let's go.
This is awesome. And when he starts playing but it's just not any bass, right? He has to.
No, yeah, they use this like metal detector.
Yes, literally hysterical. Like a shred detector, which is like a metal detector to find
these instruments.
Enchanted instruments.
So that these people can play these enchanted instruments. And so
it
summons their mythical creature to help fight with them. Yeah. And his is a mastodon.
Like a huge mastodon.
The bassist has this giant mastodon. And they fight these like chaos beings and like these chaos monsters.
So while we're going through this, you start to find out there's some melancholy in Jake. Yeah. Why did he give this up? And there are flashbacks to like he and a girl who you realize is his wife.
Because he's wearing a wedding ring.
Did you catch the part where he finds his wedding ring?
Yeah, and he puts it back on.
Yeah, he throws the wedding ring into a lake at one point.
And then all of the water of the lake gets decimated and he picks up his wedding ring and puts it back on.
Yeah, he finds his wedding ring back.
So him and this girl, you don't know that they're married at this point, but him and this girl are pictured getting this news from a doctor.
Yes, bad news.
And you can it's cancer, it's spread, and then all of this like news. And then I thought that the art there was so beautiful. Like it went back and forth from like
just black
colored
and white
images.
almost. Yeah.
It went back and forth from colored images of Jake playing his guitar with Murder Falcon fighting this like monster
Yeah, it's kaiju.
to them, this couple sitting in silence as the woman just like weeps and he's just standing there in shock. And the doctor is like talking to them still, but his words just kind of it goes from like text you can read to just like jarbled. And it's like that he's like not comprehending, not hearing, which man happens when you get news like that. Like you can, your whole body can really freeze. So the art was beautiful.
Yes.
In this. So you get, Jake has this melancholy. I like that term that you used, Dad. That's a thread throughout this entire thing. And he's like really ruined some of the relationships that are most important to him.
Didn't show up when the band had their biggest chance to have their biggest break because of this thing that happened. And so he is not friends basically with the drummer for sure of the band, right?
The bassist was the easiest person to get back on board.
Because the bassist was always there, yeah. And then they reconcile with the drummer.
Hers is like a giant Loch Ness monster.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, like a giant Loch Ness monster. And then you come to find out that the wife's not dead. And that, gosh, I don't want to spoil it, but
we have to. If we're going to talk about it, we have to.
Okay. He is the one with cancer.
Yeah.
He left his wife because he didn't, I think he didn't want to be a burden on her, honestly.
Yeah. It seemed like he didn't want to make her watch him shrivel up.
So he goes and reconciles with his wife. Tries to and does, and it does.
And they do.
They do reconcile 100%. But they...
It is... You go. I'm sorry. No, you go.
No. So you come, and as the story progresses, you find out that there are other bands and other musicians that are playing to defeat these creatures in other parts of the world. One such band is from Norway, was it?
Yeah, and it's like Kiss.
Or Denmark. I can't remember.
All I could see what it was like Kiss.
It looked like Kiss. Yeah, it looked like it was supposed to be Kiss, which is like hard rock, not necessarily heavy metal. And only one of them is living. The rest of them all died. So he comes to be part of Bruticus. Is that what the name of the band is?
Yeah, Bruticus. And they learn that they have to go blow this horn.
Horn of the Dead.
The Horn of the Dead is that to defeat the Chaos God, they give them like chord progression he has to play.
Yes, which is
that
hilarious.
Unlocks a key on Murder Falcon's metal arm that goes into a specific door that then they are able to access the Horn of the Dead.
And to blow the horn to bring the dead to life to fight chaos.
For the
chaos, yeah. And at one point...
Which is metal, honestly.
It's 100%. The whole thing was metal. I love the conversation between the guy from Denmark, the band, the Kiss band, and the wife.
And the wife.
And she basically says that they don't tell you how to watch this happen. You know, they don't, when someone's sitting up with chemo and all this is going on, they don't tell you how to do this. And
how to be supportive, how to love your partner, how to be there for them, how to manage your own pain.
Right. And he hands her the microphone and says, I always thought that this needed a female lead. Woo. And what does she say, Hannah?
She has this beautiful quote about how I think he says this to her. I think the Kiss guy says this to her about like he always thought that to be powerful was to be strong was to like be loud and to be like in your face and all of these different things, but that he can see the power that she has in her stillness and in her gentleness and in her kindness towards her partner as he's going through all of this. But like mentions to her like, hey, I found this microphone. Like we know it's enchanted. It seems like you have a lot of things inside of you that you need to get out.
Yeah. And she's like, well, I can't sing.
I'm crying.
I know. It was so good.
It was so good. And he was like, well, I think there's another way you could get it out.
And she basically just screams
at the top because
like you would hear a metal like
but I mean, I don't know. I think that there's something really beautiful there about like watching a person that you love so much.
Yeah, suffer.
Like suffer and go through illness and like know that there's nothing that you can do.
Right.
But you can't like scream at them. Right.
Yeah.
So just like him
just screaming at this,
like just screaming at the situation, screaming at like, yeah. And I just, man, I thought that was really beautiful. I thought the conversation she had with I'm sorry, I'm crying. With the Norwegian, or I don't know,
or
whatever.
the Denmarkian, whatever.
With that individual was just so tender because they like
which is funny coming from a guy who looked like he was
he was like painted
like Gene Simmons, you know.
And there, something that Dad and I were talking about because we were chatting on the phone to figure out like when we wanted to start the podcast tonight about like when you're reading the book and you like get to the pages of like them getting this news from the doctor, my automatic assumption was, oh, this woman has cancer. This 100%. Woman that he loves has cancer and he has left her.
I thought the same thing. The first time I read this, I thought the same thing, 100%. And they never really say that. They don't say that, but I automatically thought that.
And I don't know if they're just playing, like if there was like some like genius art that they did to kind of like trick our minds.
I think it's just what we would just think. That,
or if that's just like what our society thinks, like the amount of research that has come out about like when women get sick, it's more likely that their partners will leave them. Like that's that's just a statistic that if a woman gets sick later in life, it is more likely that her husband will ask for a divorce or will leave.
Oh, wow.
Than if a man gets sick later in life. It's more likely that the wife will stay.
Yeah, and listen, he doesn't look sick. I mean, he's got that big, he's got the long blonde hair, like you would think a headbanger hair.
Yeah. And so, that was something that Dad and I were chatting about. Is like, was this just like our stigma and our assumption?
I know.
About this man, and which I feel very bad about. Like it was, I was like, I like literally jaw dropped.
He wasn't evil. He wasn't mean. He was definitely hurt.
He was sad.
And sad. And at one point in the book, he got stabbed.
He's pretty well beat up.
And they use some other music magic or whatever to sort of heal him a little bit. And there's one guy there and he asks to borrow his wheelchair. One more thing, because he's got to go out and play one more time. And he goes out and he's in this wheelchair and he stands up.
And he's gotten an oxygen, like he's on oxygen in his nose and everything.
Yeah.
Like he's like clearly not well.
He stands up with his guitar and takes off his wig. He did not have long hair the whole time. I was weeping. I was like,
when that happened.
Oh my gosh, this guy is dying of cancer. And they play, and it's interesting. There's a lot of good stuff in there about how music is the healing thing for chaos, and it is the thing that
how it connects us to people and like brings people together.
And the horn of the dead does not awaken the dead; it awakens the dead inside of people and brings people back to life who are already alive.
Yeah, which was really tender, and it was like the page is really, really cool. Well, they unlock this thing. They unlock the door. Chaos gets in with them on accident and murder Falcon and is fighting the Chaos Lord. And they think that the horn is just going to be like sitting there, right? Like it's just like it's going to be like a trumpet or something. Like you blow this horn. Like, no, like this is like some like dwarven,
Major. It's human,
massive horn.
Bigger than the one Gimli blew.
Oh no,
Bigger.
10 times bigger than like this massive horn.
Yes.
And he has to climb steps. This man is dying of cancer, had just like was in a wheelchair receiving oxygen and is like, I'm not going to make it up these stairs.
Yes.
And
but he does.
He makes it up the stairs and he's like, I don't have enough in me to blow this horn. And Murder Falcon is like, yes, you do. I know that you do.
Yeah.
And he blows the horn and there's beautiful images of how like all of these like people throughout the world.
All throughout the world. Yes.
Have like music in them.
Yes.
And that the music inside of them is what like, it just, let me tell you, this book had me crying in the club, you guys.
This is good. And we've not said everything in it. There's many different, there's a fun part where it looks like they're doomed. And one of the guy who owns the thing plays a mystical cowbell. And that was an awesome part. We get an orchestra from Japan.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, this book is a must read.
It's so good. The part that really got me was that the part that got me, like there were two parts that really made me cry. It was when when Jake is like, okay, I can leave. And he's like, I can't do this by myself. And Murder Falcon is like, are you kidding? I'm going with you.
Yes.
Of course I'm going with you. Which was very beautiful. And then the part where he is in, like, chaos has, like, gotten inside Jake's mind, our main character's mind. And is, like, so close.
Trying to feed off of his, sadness.
So close to getting him to, like, give in to terror, to give in to fear. And his wife, this book made me so emotional, Dad. His wife starts singing a song. Yes. And it's a song that she sang to him when he was receiving chemo. When he was
getting chemo, yeah.
And
I'm crying too.
And she, and he was like...
emotional times.
The chaos being was like, what are you doing? What is that? And he's like, oh no, like, you don't have power here. No. This is the song that my wife sang to me.
I'm going to throw a monkey wrench at you.
Okay.
Did it happen? Or was this what he was thinking?
You guys.
When he was lying on his deathbed.
You are not allowed to do that to me. You are not allowed to do that to me, Dad. No way. I hadn't thought of that.
I thought about this on the last reading. This is how he saw his battle with cancer. I would love to get Daniel Warren Johnson and ask him,
Sorry, I'm like literally silent and my mouth is wide open. I'm like shocked by that question. I honestly don't know.
Yeah. Either way.
It's so beautiful.
It doesn't. Yeah, I know. Either way, it's beautiful. Yeah. Like that's how he saw his battle with cancer. I'm fighting these things and music's the only thing that's getting me through it. And it requires all my friends and it requires my wife who I tried to estrange myself from.
Yeah.
And it takes magic to overcome it.
And it takes recognizing that there's magic in all people.
Yeah.
To overcome it.
So, yeah, let's see if we can get him on for episode 100.
I'm crying.
We might talk about it again.
I really, really liked it, you guys. I would recommend, we've at this point read 3 of his book series. We've read Bomb, which was excellent. A man named Jacob Wrestles God. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I didn't even think of that until you mentioned it.
And then this book, like there's such...
And Wonder Woman Dead Earth.
Which is... he has such beautiful themes of the joy in people and in everyday interactions, overcoming, and the beauty of like different types of love, whether that's...
And he's got the new book out now, The Moon is Following
The Moon, yeah.
The Moon is Following, whatever.
Man.
All right.
10 out of 10 would recommend. I would recommend it so much that I was reading this on my lunch break and then stepped out of the office and one of my colleagues asked me if I was well because I was just weeping.
So what did you say?
I was like, I was just finished reading a comic book.
And what did they say to that? Did you say,
She was
it's because
like,
of my dad.
Literally, what? I'm like, it was really good.
Did you explain? You should have said.
I kind of. I was like, my dad and I do a podcast. And she was like, okay. But I think, man, 5 out of 5 magical instruments.
Ooh, yes. We'll make our own band.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, folks, we got a little emotional tonight. We've had a lot to talk about. Very serious today.
Even the grief theme with Andrew Garfield. Like there's a lot of grief in this book.
Yeah. But
a lot of hope and joy too.
And victory.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah. All right. Folks, people, it's time.
Yay!
Hannah,
This was such a long episode, you guys.
That's all right.
I'm so sorry. Friends, thanks for hanging out with us on our little corner of the internet. We are so thankful for you. Hey, I got so far ahead of myself. Our intro music was made by Brockwell Nason. He has his first studio album coming out soon. Pre-order, save, however that works on whatever music listening app you have. Our art was made by Nate Turner. He made that for us in Microsoft Paint. He is a multi-talented king. Thank you for doing that for us, bud. I edit and upload our podcast. Dad maintains our YouTube page, and we are 1 episode away from 100 podcast episodes.
That's right. Hopefully, it's going to be big. We got to do something. We're going to talk about it. It'll be in 2 weeks. So we're going to start a countdown.
Go down.
All right.
It'll be the 5th. Oh, it's election day.
Oh, good. People will want to listen to us.
People will want to listen to us. It's election day.
Don't watch the stuff on election day. Just, that's all right.
Watch us instead. We're more fun.
Vote for me. Vote for us. Vote for Sis and Big Pops as your favorite podcast of the world. Anyway, people, thank you. And until next time, we will catch you on the flippity flop.
Bye, friends.
Bye, guys.